Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Awakened Souls podcast. I'm your host, Devin Brown, a Kundalini activator, spiritual guide, mentor, and hopefully just a great source of entertainment for you. Let's get ready to dive in. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Awakened Souls podcast. And so today we are actually going to be diving in to the energies and to what it is that we have. It is a very special day. It is an eclipse going on today. It is April 8th. It is a time when there are a lot of people freaking out. And I felt like it would be appropriate to give you kind of a little bit of information on what is happening and what is coming on a spiritual level versus just I feel weird. You hear like the solar flares and energies and full moon type atmosphere, etc., without ever diving into it. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be diving into what it actually means when we're having this transition, this eclipse, this solar inspired energetic movement. So we've already been talking about it a little bit, timeline shifts, frequencies changing, etc. But what is happening for the month of April is, the best way I can put it is timeline collapse. Like, I don't know that there really is another word for it. So anyone who is living a life and on their path to growth and on their path to healing and on their path to moving forward, we all reach a point somewhat in this month where we decide if our choices are going to continue to align with healing and growth and continue to align with moving upward and moving forward, or if we are going to step back and say like, no, I'm happy where I am. I'm done. And when we make those decisions, where we go and what we do actually changes. Who we connect with and who we have interactions with is going to change. It's going to shift, because some of you, if you're continuing to grow, you're going to have to let go of the old patterns, the old ways, the old friendships. And then other people, if you are continuing to stay where you are, you might lose new connections, or you may miss new connections that are coming in. There is no right or wrong on this. There is no you have to heal, because none of us have to heal. None of us have to grow. However, there's obviously the point of reaching our own full embodied highest self-consciousness, aka Christ consciousness, which last episode you can go back and listen to that and what Christ consciousness actually is. But as we're moving forward and as we're shifting and as we are growing and transforming and taking things that are negative and literally transmuting them into a positive, we can see so much love, so much light, so much health coming to us. But first we have to go through the murky waters. First we have to go through the darkness. And I'm reminded of this video that I saw once where someone was describing healing, and they took water that was colored with food coloring, dark brown, and they put it under a sink of tap water that allowed it to just have new fresh water poured into it. And slowly, ever so slowly, that brown just became a lighter brown. Then it became a tan. Then it became a beige. And eventually, as new water flowed into it, it became clear. That is essentially what happens when we do a timeline shift and we do a collapsing of timelines. You have probably noticed that there are people in your energetic field that have slowly begun to dissipate out. They have either time with them doesn't feel fulfilling anymore. Time with them doesn't feel like a priority anymore, or time with them feels like a chore. Or maybe you feel like you guys just had some awakening moments where you're like, we're not aligned. We're not compatible. Or maybe the opposite, some people that you felt before were a little bit too much for you, or a little too woo-woo, or a little too like energetic, you're attracted to and you're drawn to. Listen to that, because what's happening is you yourself are shifting into different frequencies and into different modalities of time, and you are able to bring yourself into a place of harmonious union with your soul family and with those people that are meant to walk with you on this leg of the journey. And it can be hard. It can be lonely. It can be frustrating when you have people that you care about deeply who are not in alignment with the timeline or with the frequency that you're in. And it's a matter of knowing and truly releasing control and saying, okay, if I am meant to be here with this person, we're going to make it through. And letting go of the idea that you have to fix anything and just shine your light, focus your energy within, focus your energy on yourself, focus your energy on what it is that you feel you are supposed to do, where it is you feel you're supposed to go. So as much as we have had a lot of craziness with this eclipse coming up and with this season of up and downs, there's been a lot of good transitions. It's like a farmer going out into the field and tilling the soil. They're tearing up the soil. They're moving the rocks. They're breaking it apart so that the seed has a chance to grow. Well, that's being done, and the seed is being planted, and the rest of this month is going to be a time of shifting where that seed begins to sprout, but then it has to take root and grow. And it's one of those things that it can be overwhelming. And the only way that I can help you feel or encourage you to feel grounded within yourself is to remember that you are your own person and take ownership of that. Like when you feel overwhelmed, when you feel bombarded with energies on all sides, when you feel like you can't quite put a finger on what it is, but something just isn't quite right. Literally remind yourself that this is your body. And one of the ways I do that is I put my hands on myself and just say, this is my body. Only energy of love and light is welcome here, and only what is meant for me on my highest ascension. And I release those things and those paths into the atmosphere, so to speak. That being said, I do want to go into, for those of you who are starseeds, those of you who are more spiritual, more open, you have your psychic gifts online, etc. You're going to want to start grounding yourself into the heavens versus the earth, because the earth is what's shifting. The earth is what is moving. The earth is what is changing and recalibrating in this moment. So think of the eclipse almost like when you turn your computer off and you press reset, or your TV's not working and you turn it off. Like that moment of darkness is essentially a reset button for the frequencies of earth and for the frequencies of where we're going to be and for the frequencies of what is coming to place. It's not something to be feared. It's not something to be afraid of. It's not something to run away from, but it is something to embrace, and it is something to acknowledge is taking place, and be okay with that, and be okay with the reset that's coming. And you can choose to stay in your closet if you want, but it is a choice. Or you can choose to come out and play in the magic of the world and what's here. I don't have a lot to share today. Like my guides literally just led me to do a energy update on this and what it means. And just one, be patient with yourself. Be patient with who you are. Be patient with where you want to go. Be patient with what you're doing. But two, allow new relationships to form if you are on your path to ascension, and allow compassion for the person you were before reaching this point. But also be willing to welcome in your own level of understanding, your own level of peace, your own level of fluidity without judging or comparing to those around you, because you are your own soul. You are your own being. You are your own essence. You are not meant to be compared. You are not meant to move forward. You are not meant to be anything but in alignment with your highest self. That being said, if you would like to connect with me and my quantum circle, we do channeled energy updates like this on a regular basis, at least once a week, along with a tarot reading card. We share insights and everything for what is coming. Plus, we do a healing modality meditation, and you gain access to all of those for the future that help anchor us into the frequencies that are changing. That is a link in the bio. You can go to my Patreon site and just join the Quantum Circle there. And as always, I hope you guys have a absolutely wonderful eclipse day and just enjoy the journey.